Onion News Network it's poking fun at news anchors. Now, I know that they mentioned that your rival is Wolf Blitzer. So going into this series, are you trying to get a response from Wolf? Do you want him to see the show and to come on the show?
If Wolfie wants to come on the show, I say bring it. Sure, I don't think he would be comfortable being seen on the same stage as the undisputed news leader, Brooke Alvarez, but sure, I would welcome it, absolutely.
Okay. And now you poke fun at all kinds of news, and I strictly write about television and entertainment. So how much of that are you guys going to tackle, or are you looking for the murders and the kidnappings and the hard news stories?
You know, we cover all news, and entertainment sometimes is news. We have the same controversial topics that you'll find in some of the other networks. We go deeper into those subjects, and sometimes, sure, that's murder, and sometimes that's Tom Cruise trying to protect his daughter Suri from some crazy, out-of-world adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And now the Onion News Network, you still have your print component, you still have
Yes.
your online component. So what does it mean to expand into TV?
It just, world domination, I think, is the goal for the Onion, and we're getting there, absolutely.
Okay. And are there any people that you want to have on as a guest that you think you'd love to do a sit down with, or maybe a takedown?
Yeah, we don't have too many guests on the FactZone. Our morning show hosts often invite some fluffier type guests to appear on Today Now. But again, happy to sit down with anyone of substantial interest to our viewing audience anytime. If Mr. Stephen Colbert would like to join us, that would be lovely. And I'd say Mr. Jon Stewart's also welcome. And again, if Wolf Blitzer is so interested, or somebody, say from the Fox News Network, I say you are welcome.
But you're not really looking to ever have a guest co-anchor or anything like that. It's not that type of show.
Yeah. It doesn't work to have a guest co-anchor or any type of co-anchor really with Brooke, because the camera's not big enough for two major news powers, and she pretty much likes to, dominate. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good choice of words. I think that's the theme going forward.
Yes.
What would you say to people who maybe they turn on Onion News Network and they think it's not snark, it's not poking fun, they're actually getting their news from there? Is that something that you guys are cognizant of? And
we are aware that the viewing public gets confused sometimes as to what's legitimate news and what isn't, even on the actual other newscasts that you see on CNN and Fox and MSNBC. So there's no doubt there'll be some confusion. We hope to clarify and point out things. You know, it'll be funny. People will be watching, and then it's just going to be one word that tips it off, that this is not your average everyday newscast.
Right.
That word could be calling the viewing audience an idiot at times. By far not meaning that, certainly not meaning that everybody is, just those who do idiotic things. Yeah, so I think you have to really watch carefully to realize that it's not, like you said, your typical news station.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is Brooke modeled on anyone specific? Because I think there's definitely, I watch a lot of local news out here in Los Angeles, and I think there's some remnants of some people in her.
Very interesting, and also speaks to the ego of certain anchors that they all see themselves in Brooke. And it's true, she's a compilation, I think, of most of the news stars, as it were. You know, I feel like there's a little Bill O'Reilly, a little Katie Couric, a little bit of this person, a little bit of that person, a little local, a little national. She really kind of embodies them all.
And news anchors are stars. You're absolutely right with what you said. So now, is Brooke? Do you think she's going to be writing a book anytime soon?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, she's written some books, and her current book that she's working on, I think, is at 30,000 pages so far. She's got a big life.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to say. She's working on it. It's not quite a tell-all, but it's a tell-a-lot type of book. And Brooke is always open to educating the public on her rise to fame, and sharing the tips for other people who attempt to get into the business, though she advises they don't even try, because as long as she's working,
Well, that was going to be one of my questions. If you had to pick maybe 3 things that you would say to someone who is an aspiring journalist, what would you tell them?
Look into something else, if you're female especially, because that position's already taken. You can't get any higher than this, and I'm not going anywhere. Another piece of advice, if you're truly looking into going into journalism, you need to learn certain skills. How to look good no matter what the weather is doing. And also, it's very important that they learn to speak extremely quickly and articulately. It is not an easy skill. And those couple of things can help somebody if they're truly giving it a shot.
I know you mentioned earlier at the panel that you're speaking 33% faster. How are you training for that? Or is that just something that you've been doing since birth?
Brooke is phenomenally talented, and yes, since birth. She speaks quickly. Some people have found that to be a problem, and then she found, of course, her niche, which was on the Onion News Network. Some people can't follow along. We say, that's your fault, and record the news, go back and watch it again. If it's too quick for you, that speaks to your intelligence level. So.
And now there is also kind of a movement to move things to the internet and to TV, and print is going away, but Onion is keeping their print section.
True.
Do you feel that that is a smart move? Do you think that that's important to have, like you said, world domination and to take over all components?
I think the Onion really does want world domination, and I think it's possible. I think each audience, while they overlap, is an audience unto their own. There are the die-hard Onion newspaper fans. There are the die-hard Onion online fans. And like I said, they all cross over. But I think there are unique demographics in each. So I don't see any of them going away anytime soon.
And if there was one story that you'd want to break as Onion News Network, across any, entertainment, hard news, politics, whatever it may be, what would you want that to be? What would you want to be really known for?
Well, I think if Wolf resigns, the pressure becomes just too much with Brooke going after him and really embarrassing him at some point with her superior ratings, then I think that would be a great story.
That would be a great story.
Yeah, that and also any new line of clothing that Brooke may introduce, because that would be a great scoop as well.
And so does she have her own line? Is she going to be wearing her own creations?
She does have her Brooks Looks handbags and her Brooks Looks website. And right now it's not limited. It is not limited, so it could include jewelry, makeup, clothing. I don't know if you've noticed in some of the episodes, she really is helpful in giving advice to the other anchors and reporters on how to look, how to improve their on-camera appearance. Because she's she sets the trend.
So do you think that Brooke is going to be the next Oprah? Do you think that ultimately she wants to move from anchoring to a talk show?
Brooke is very complex, and I think as long as she remains happy at the Onion News Network, she's not looking for another home because they allow her to do so much as it is. But Brooke would say anything's possible, and usually she goes after it.
Great. Well, thank you so much.